In today's video, we're going to show you a real secret move to help you generate more speed in your golf swing. Make sure you check out this video. So as you can see, I'm joined by James Bailey from James Bailey Golf, my business partner. I've brought James in because he hits it further than me. It's the real reason behind this. I didn't want to demonstrate my 270 little soft cut out there with the driver. But today's video is talking about generating more speed in your golf swing and how the pelvis should actually be moving upwards. And what we see with the long drive guys is around 6 inches of upwards movement, vertical forces you can think of. Now they generate more than just vertical forces, but in today's video we're going to be discussing those vertical forces and how the pelvis should be moving up. Now it's not just up, it is up and inwards, so up and rotating as well. So that's the second, effectively one more power source. It's the vertical forces, but also rotational forces. And that's what James does very well. So on that particular shot, you can do it more than that. That was half a degree, so 0.6 on the way up. But the tour average, so PGA Tour average, is actually slightly on the way down. We do know that a lot of these guys could actually hit the ball further
on the way
if they're hitting up on it. And the guys in terms of the long drive, well, not just guys, the guys and the girls, long drive tours are hitting up on it by somewhere between 6 and 10 degrees, really. You see them using very low lofted drivers, pegging the ball very high, but we see them airborne, don't we?
Yeah, their feet are off the ground at impact most of the time.
So the only way you can jump is by pushing down to start with. So what we're going to discuss a little bit, or we're going to show 2 drills, ways you can feel the pelvis move upwards. And one is going to be a bit of a strange looking drill where James is going to be doing a bit of a jump drill. So he's going to be pushing down into the ground first, feeling the pelvis almost pointing downwards and then trying to explode. And the second one is going to be perhaps a little bit simpler, maybe even something you could take to the course if this was an area that you needed a bit of improvement on. So let's start with that one. Let's start with the simple one, which we don't need a ball for a second. If you set up to the tee. And what James is going to do, he's going to make a backswing. He's going to come down to pre-impact and he's just going to touch the ground, but a good sort of 2-3 foot before the golf ball, maybe even more. So it's way short here. And what I want him to try and feel is the club scrapes along the ground and swings up on the tee or even misses the tee peg. So we could even get that tee just opposite your lead toe, your left toe.
So up to the top.
Up to the top. Touch the ground and try and drag the club and miss the tee peg. So what you'll see there, especially from this camera angle, is James's hips, his pelvis. So let's just use the line between his shirt and his trousers there, so that white to black line, and just look at it rising through impact, okay? So that pelvis moving upwards. As you do that, you're feeling that left leg
extend and turn, pivot over that knee.
Perfect. What we wouldn't want to see is that left knee
sliding.
Sliding.
What's the very common is people go, oh, I need to rotate, and when they actually do, all they do is slide forward and jump up.
Yeah.
And then early extend and jump out the way.
100%. We tend to see the pelvis moving that way, don't we, towards almost the golf ball.
Exactly.
So you know what that did, and that'd be quite easy to do on the golf course, wouldn't it? In a practice swing, touch the ground.
Feel like you drive down and extend back up.
Perfect. So that's one way you're not going to look too crazy. This next drill, James is going to be, that's why James is doing it rather than me. He's going to look a little strange, might be hard to take to the course, but perhaps something to do at home in the garden or on the driving range. So a bit of a jump drill. So he's just going to get that sensation that the belt buckle, belly button is pointing down towards the tee peg at the start of the downswing, but he's actually going to be jumping, and not only jumping up, but rotating. So what you're going to see is James's lead foot, left foot, actually finish more behind him, which again is a trait we see with the long drive guys and girls.
They'll be facing everything at the target. And what we want to do is when we're trying to build distance or gain speed, is we've got to overshoot it. So it's what's called the overshoot theory. So if we need, if you want to get 110 mile an hour and you're at 108, well, we need to get to 112 so that when you take it to the course, it's not out of control.
Yes.
So by doing a jumping drill, you know, you're never going to hit a ball where you're really airborne and jumping and rotating because it's out of control. But if we can get the body and the muscles to feel and allow it to do it, when we actually need that distance of feeling like we're just moving through, the body's used to it and can adapt to it very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. People would think, is this relevant for me? I'm not going to jump when I'm hitting it, but it's kind of, as you said, the overtraining of it. It's trying to go above and beyond, so then we can feel what that 100% is to kind of rein it back to, what do we want, about 85%, something along those lines. So we want to hit it with speed, with commitment, but in control. I see a lot of golfers, you know, they're just trying to actually take all the speed out of it to hit more fairways, and if that works, fine.
I mean, you look at Bryson, and you know, you can see a clear difference from when he says, you know, I'm going into crank mode on this one. You can see the clear difference in his pelvic rotation and his vertical force through the ball. Yeah. Essentially gaining
he gets
more power
to, in practice, and you might well have seen this, and there are some videos out there showing him training with his coach, Chris Como, but they get up to about 145 miles an hour, which is crazy, ridiculous speed. But the quickest he's really been on the course is about 130.
Yeah, exactly. So
which is still crazy.
It's toned down to a level of control so that you can hit fairways, but by overshooting constantly, almost progressive overload in the gym, it's allowing you to, your body doesn't need to do 100% in order to gain that figure. So
if you can show us the jump drill, do you want to do that with the ball, without the ball?
I'll do one without sort of slowed down, and then we'll step it up into an actual golf.
We'll do it into a golf shot, and we, you know, what we can get on here is we're looking at club head speed, but really we're looking at angle of attack as well. So James on that last one was just over half a degree up. We'd expect to see a little bit more. So
it's, before you start taking it to exactly hitting shots, really just find your time, find your thing, because it is a strange one. So what we want to feel is we're driving, like John said on that first one, we're driving down.
Yeah.
As we're starting that extend, we're making it really explosive, and we're actually going airborne towards the target. So it might look like you're really out of control if someone didn't know what you were doing. So it would look like this.
Good. Yeah, yeah. And I think you can even do that as a drill, where we stop at the top, stop halfway down, feeling like the belt buckle's pointing down, and then jump and rotate from there, which may be even a little bit clearer for video. Just do one of those. So stop at the top, push down, okay, and then fire. And obviously it's not as explosive, but you can see the components of the move. So that might be your, if we're talking about baby steps, it might be maybe that one first, then going into the second one that you did, where we did it with flowing motion, so there was more explosive part. Hit one doing it. Don't worry about the direction. We're not going to be too picky.
Well, I hope not. This could go anywhere.
Don't worry. Let's just look at that angle of attack. Potentially we'd even tee it up higher, would we?
You got a higher one?
Is that a little higher?
Yeah, you put it on the pink castle for us.
I know, it's what you normally use on the course, isn't it? The pink castle. Come on then, give it a go. Brilliant. And that's not putting, I don't think, a lot of pressure on your back there. People will think it is because of the rotation, but you're actually moving, aren't you, your whole body? So we're not...
Yeah, there's a very... If you were to try and hold that position and turn, that's pressure, but as you're releasing through the ground, there's no impact on your lower back.
Good. So, you know, obviously it's not flat out in terms of speed initially when he's doing that drill, and he could pick that up, of course he could, but what we're looking at there is...
I think 2.2.
Yeah, so he went from 0.6 to 2.2, so hit up on the golf ball more. It wasn't his most efficient golf swing, but you know, we said we'd give him a break on that one. I'm sure if we gave him 10 balls, he'd start getting it. It still went down the target line, which was pretty impressive, but upwards by 2.2 degrees, which is exactly what we want to start to see, to generate some more speed. So to get that angle of attack, we're focusing on the pelvis moving up. The prerequisite of that is it has to move downwards a little bit at the start of the downswing. So there is that push down before we spring up. And a lot of golfers are worried about the hips moving up. They think they top shots because they're gaining height through impact, and we know that's not true. You know, we know that the handle should be moving up. We know that the lead leg should be extending into impact, especially when we're talking about generating more speed with the driver. So thanks for your time. Thanks for hitting those shots for us. Do jump over, check out James's YouTube channel. So lots of content going to be going on there. And I'll put his social media handles just down here as well, well worth checking out. If you're new to my channel, you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.